All right, so it's Monday. Beautiful new day we got here. A little cooler this week versus last week. It was a little warmer. So we're not quite as busy with service calls. But Zach went out on maintenance this morning. He's out, found an issue with on one maintenance call he was on, he found an issue with a capacitor. He found an issue with a belt on another system that he's working on at his church. So that's the important thing behind doing maintenance. Brian is on a call now. It's 11:30. He had an appointment at 11. Jeff's in at our other office location in Augusta, working on some things there. Kirsten's in this morning. Kylie's not in today. She had an issue with her dog, so hope everything goes well there. So, anyways, and Rio came in today, so he's here holding the camera for us today, so that's great. But we've got some equipment going in this week. We have a project that we tore out on Friday. So we've got a coil right here, a furnace, and a condenser. And this is a 16-SEER system. So hopefully we'll be able to get some footage tomorrow. That's going to be going in tomorrow. We're getting that job started with putting everything back. We tore everything out, like I said, on Friday of last week. And we've also got a system, a big package unit right here that's going in for a project that Dustin and Jonathan are on today. So hoping to see all that come together this week. So we've got 2 installation projects that are hopefully going to be completed this week, and looking forward to wrapping all that up. So the rest of the day today, I'm going to be following up on some sales projects. I did some this morning. I'll be following up and working on some this afternoon, and we'll check in later this afternoon and see where we're at.
All right, I'm Zach with Giesbrecht, and today we're doing a heating maintenance on a gas furnace. And you go through on a maintenance, you want to go through and check everything, your gas pressure, your electrical, your inducer, and make sure the system is working properly for the customer through the winter time. Grab a screwdriver.
And if you want to explain what you're doing right now.
Okay, so right now I'm just checking the flame sensor, and this is what tells your system that there is fire to keep on working. If the flame sensor is really dirty, it wouldn't send the electrical signal to the board, which is right there, and your flame would kind of light and go right back out. So I'm just checking that to make sure it looks clean and everything. And if it is dirty, we clean it with some sandpaper very lightly, just to remove the little bit of rust or anything that's on it. And then we reinstall it. You definitely, sometimes you gotta work with it. Alright, another thing we can check is these capacitors right here. Notice that's what jump starts your motors. And they actually carry a high amount of voltage, so you always want to make sure they're discharged. And then you can pop them off. And you take your meter. Set it to ohms and take your leads, touch one on each side. And this one is a 2 reading 1.75, so it's still within range. And then there's this capacitor as well. Start your compressor and everything. And since we're already here, I'm gonna go ahead and check it. My pliers. And this one is a lot more dangerous because it usually carries a high amount of voltage with it. And the way to get rid of that is you take a screwdriver and you touch both of those, and it'll make a loud popping sound. And you check this one the same way. It's a 162. And it's within range as well. Alright, so since that all checked good, we're going to move over to our other compartment, which is right here. And this is where your indoor fan is located. Okay, and this is your indoor blower, which actually puts air through your house. If there's a capacitor for this one, it would sit right here, but this one's something called a variable speed, so it doesn't need a capacitor. And then here is your another capacitor for your compressor, and then your outdoor fan, which is on top. And that is only used in cooling for this particular system. But since we're already here, we'll check it anyways. And this is the same one as the other ones. You just want to touch them together to make sure they're discharged. And you pull them off. And if you don't know where they go, you definitely want to take a picture so you can put them back in the exact same spot. That is very important. But I don't need to do that any longer because I'm pretty much memorized. And then you'll take your meter just like the other ones. And that's reading 5.13, which is rated for 5, so it's good. And that one's reading 30.85. And if you look on the side of the capacitor, you'll actually see the measurement it's supposed to be. So this one is a 40/5. And I think we're getting 30 or 35. Let's check one more time. We're getting 30, so this one's actually out of range. You know, we usually replace them. We recommend to replace them at 10% or 90% capacity. So this one's about 25%, it looks like, low. But it is only used for cooling, so we'll ask the customer if they want it replaced or not yet. And once you're done with that, you can stick them back on. And you want to make sure they're on there nice and tight where you can't just yank them off easily. Okay. And this is a little bit of dirt or maybe some kind of growth, and I'm gonna grab some paper towels and wipe it down so we can get it all cleaned up for her. I don't think it's lit yet. No. Alright, should be lighting right now. And there we go, it lit. If you look down in there, you can actually see the fire, kind of the blue. You do want to see that blue flame. That means your flame is burning clean, so it doesn't make a lot of soot or ash or anything like that. And we're going to let it run for a minute just to make sure everything is working fine still. Alright, so we did find a bad dual run capacitor on this particular maintenance. For the cooling side, it is a gas furnace. The customer did like to go ahead and get it replaced and get ready for cooling season, so that's what we're going to do now. Alright, so we're going to replace this dual run capacitor for this customer. It's about 25% low, so it is dropping. And it's a 40/5, and we got a new 40/5 for her. Right here is the back capacitor. I'm grabbing my little 90 tool to be able to get in there and pop that screw out. And unplug the old one. And the new one's a little bit smaller, but that's not a problem. We can actually take this bracket and pinch it a little bit. It allows it to grab a hold of the new capacitor. Alright, we'll take that screw and stick it back in. Sometimes I feel like you need 3 hands, but you can do it yourself. It's not that bad. Alright, now we'll take a set of pliers. And right now you see it's a little loose, but we can actually, you can see in there. The last one was a lot bigger, but we could take the bracket and squeeze it. Let me grab a bigger plier real fast. It should work a little better. You just take it and squeeze it like that. And now if you see, it's really tight. It won't be able to go anywhere and cause any problems now. Alright, now we reconnect the new one back up. I like to turn mine a certain way, but it can be put in anywhere, anyway. So you want your orange on your Herm, which is your compressor. And this is not true for all systems, it's just true for this particular system. You take your brown for your fan. I want to get it untangled from the other ones. Make sure that's on there tight. That one's a little loose, so we're going to tighten that one up. And then your purple and the red are your common for your fan and compressor. They both go on this one terminal up top. Sometimes you gotta work with it. There we go. All right, and to tighten up these little connections, we just pinch them at the end. And it tightens them up for you. Okay, and that's a lot better, a lot tighter fit. And there we go, that capacitor is changed out. So now we're going to test out the system, make sure it works before we leave. That is something we always do. But I'm going to put it back together. And then we'll go back inside to the customer's thermostat and turn it to cooling. And we'll check the differential coming out of the vents and make sure it is the right temperature. And that's how you change a capacitor on a maintenance. Okay, so I just replaced a part on the unit. I'm going to test it in cooling. So you change the thermostat to cooling, and you want to remember what temperature it's set on. I like to take a picture so you don't forget it so you can set it back to where it was for the customer. You can bring it down about 5 degrees, I like to do. And it's kicking on now. And it does take a minute for the air to get cold because the refrigerant has to cycle through the system. And as long as everything checks good, we'll check our return, which is right here. And then we'll find a vent and check the temperature out the vent. And ideally you want about 14 to 16 degrees of differential. So, and that means your system is working properly. And then that will be it for this customer, and she'll be good to go.
I'm on a maintenance. I got it back together already, but as far as the install goes, I know for a fact we don't do this, but I mean, I thought I was gonna have to cut the gas off and take this gas line out right here just to get that panel off. You know, you think they could have put a street elbow right there and just kind of came out 16 inches up against that pillar, ran it down, then hooked it up. But that makes service very difficult. That well, we're gonna hopefully replace this one day. It's from 1992. So Yeah. He changed it. He said maybe a month ago. The other one, he's got a 20 by 25 and up at the front of the hallway, and it was even worse.
Okay, I'm working on a unit, and looks like the transformer is blown for one. On the high voltage side, your low voltage fuse is actually still intact. And I was just looking at this contactor. It looks like the coil is a little messed up. I mean, compared to that one looks beautiful. You know, that's how it's supposed to look. That one looks a little suspect there with all the bubbling and everything.
I'm doing a maintenance. I had to get inside there, but I wish Trane continued using these. This is a 15-year-old unit. Look how new that looks. And the cap just, it snaps on. But it keeps the screws. They look brand new. So that noise is coming from this housing. The back side of it. See how loose. I'm gonna try to deform it. I say deform it, but put my screwdriver in there and just kind of bend it just enough to keep this housing from moving like that. Trying to tone down the gas pressure. I got that inducer quieted down. Got the fan there. Seems to be working good.
Right there. Now you don't have to junction them or couple them together at all, do you?
Maybe that one.
Okay.
A little too short.
Yeah. Gotcha.
I'll make it work.
Oh yeah. Very good. Can't see very good up in there. Here's the new vents that we added right here and there, and here's where we ran the duct across. I may have talked about this yesterday a little bit, but you can see a little better what we did right there. So he'll build a window seat or something across here for that at some point. And there's a vent way back over there. You can just barely see it right there. So yeah, project is coming together. Probably got another day or so here just getting gas connected, all your venting, all the line set, refrigeration stuff, drains, electrical, all that good stuff. So yep, looking good. Okay, so it's Tuesday, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and been busy all day. Started out the morning with the team meeting first thing, and so I was busy on that call. We discussed numerous different things, but we always go over our service department board, make sure there's all the jobs that are hanging out there that are not completed, waiting on parts, make sure all that's complete. Went over our installation board and reviewed all the projects that we're currently working on right now and anything that we might be missing that needs to be followed up on. And we also are starting to review, one thing new this week was we start to review our accounts receivable to make sure that all of our invoices are getting collected on a weekly basis instead of waiting until the end of the month and saying, oh, okay, you know, this one hasn't paid, this one hasn't paid. We're trying to be more proactive, and especially on our service calls is where we have the most trouble. So anyways, just some of the things we're dealing with today, and went out to the job that you've seen the footage of earlier, checked in with Jonathan, made sure how everything was going there on site. The project is taking a little longer than planned. We removed the system on Friday of last week. Now we're reinstalling the new system, so quite a bit going on there. And Dustin's working on a project in downtown Augusta, so working on that, and he's going to be back down on the farm at the other project tomorrow, hopefully. So this week we hope to be wrapping up at least 3 different installation projects, and we'll see how that all comes together. Tomorrow morning, I have the privilege to go sub for a friend of mine at another BNI chapter. So we're going to see how that goes. I got to be there at 7 o'clock, so got to be up early tomorrow morning to get my routine in and get to the actual meeting. So excited to meet some new people in another chapter, and yeah, looking forward to a great day. I'm getting to the end of my day. I was updating pricing today for our installation projects. I just finished with that just a few minutes ago. Now I've got to review a few things for as-is equipment that Cliff needs to arrange for pickup tomorrow, so I'm getting ready to work on that, and then I'm going to try to wrap my day up here around 5:30 to 5:45. So it's going to be a little earlier day than yesterday. Didn't get in yesterday till about 7:30. So anyways, we'll see you tomorrow. All right, good day. It is Thursday, and it's 11:45. So Cliff and I were working on some stuff here this morning. We are working on organizing our inventory a little bit better here. One of the things that we're working on we got to get all these boxes stocked, but one of the big things that we want to make sure we keep in good shape is our boxes in line all the way across. And this is intentional other than just neatness. We want to make sure that when someone comes in and pulls apart, and maybe they pull the last one, or maybe the box isn't properly labeled, maybe the part number has changed or something, we want that box to be able to be pulled forward like that right there. And then when someone comes in, like for instance, in this case it'd be Cliff, comes in and he wants to know what, he's looking over his inventory, he can immediately say, oh, this box right here, something needs to be done with it. And if you are a technician that did that, it would be also helpful, especially if something needs to be relabeled. Just grab you a sticky note. We don't have any here, but we're going to keep some right here in any of our warehouse facilities. Just either place, and just write on the sticky note what needs to be done, and then have it on the shelf, and just leave it pulled out. And so if we walk in and we've got, 3 boxes are pulled out, and then I look down the shelf and say, oh, I got 3 boxes I got to do stuff with. So there's no writing it on a checklist. There's no sending a WhatsApp or some sort of message or phone call saying, hey, we need to get more of this or we need to get more of that. You may still be writing things on your list, the actual list right here. You may be writing things on the list right here. But you're not trying to let whoever's doing inventory, you're not trying to let them know that, oh, we need to get more of this, we're running out of this, all that. You don't have to say anything. You just pull the box, boom, and keep moving. And everyone knows what's going on. Most efficient way I've found to do it. If you got a better idea, share it. All right, so this morning I was dealing with Cliff here on some housekeeping items. We were kind of working on just tidying up. We still got some more that needs to be done probably, but looks very nice for the moment. Main thing is that we have an efficient working system, so that we don't have stuff just hanging out that we don't know what's what and what to do with it. Met with Jeff, my dad, this morning, went over financials like we do every Thursday morning, and we've got some ideas we really got this really neat idea that he came up with about creating our own clean air package. We've always kind of had our own clean air package that we provided. In the past, it's been a combination of different products, and it still is going to be that, but we want to take that, put all those items together and put them in a brochure so that we can present indoor air quality options to our customers easily, quickly, and they are able to understand it and comprehend it without a lot of explaining, trying to get it out of our heads, but rather that they can actually understand it from our brochure. So I'm working on that idea today as well. Jonathan is working on our change-out project, attic change-out project today that we looked at yesterday. Hopefully going to get by there today. Cliff is supporting him with getting him some materials there. Dustin is working on our crawl space change-out system, or renovation system, if you will. We're getting real close to getting ready to start that job up. That's happening tomorrow, hopefully, getting everything set and in place and start up. And Brian, unfortunately, is not feeling well today, so hopefully he'll get to feeling better soon. Zach is out busy with a full schedule, I believe. And let's see what else is going on. Kirsten and Kylie are both in the office today. I went to my BNI meeting this morning, got a few clips from that. We had a great presentation by Mr. Jackson Drumgoole talking about the family initiatives that Drumgoal Family Initiatives. He's working to create a tiny home community. It's called the Bridge Builder Community for at-risk youth, people aging out of foster care systems. So I've got a little footage on that. So it was a very interesting, inspiring presentation that he brought for us. And my dad is headed to BNI as well. So anyways, so that's what's happening today, right now. And yeah, I've got some more work to do this morning in the office. And let's get to it. So you tried to spray foam all of that so you could get it.
Yeah, the other side is about the same. It's a little harder to get in there.
And that wall right there hadn't have anything on it, which it's not conditioned necessarily in here, but yeah, I see what you're talking about. Looks like fun.
It's so uncomfortable there.
Yeah. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay, so we're in the attic right here, and you can see we've got open roof line all the way up, right there, all the way down, right across there, all the way over. We can see we've got 2 attic vent fans right there, but we've got open attic all the way around, and this is definitely not a good situation with how these walls come up, and then they're insulated with fiberglass, and the insulation is not as, the integrity of it is not as good as it should or could be. So yep, all right.
And those the cups down here,
Yeah.
the cubicles,
Yeah,
none of that. And I even sprayed foam all around there, trying to make it a little, but I can still feel all of the
heat coming
the
through.
heat coming. Yes. And
Yep.
Those are the pipes that go to the frog.
Okay, yep. Just looking right here.
And
All
I
this.
absolutely hate seeing all of those wires, how they did it. Like
Yeah, just strung all over.
Okay, so when the system is running, it's really loud in here, and they were wondering what the best thing to do to quiet it down could be, if anything. I mean, the unit is right here. The return's directly on that wall, and then the supply is directly right there, so it's pretty close to the fan. Yeah, they were just wondering, can anything be done to quiet down the sound a little bit when they're having service?
All right, so this right here is the kind of stuff we're talking about in cows.
I just kind of like threw that there.
Yeah, see that wall is open all the way down, and that sheetrock is exposed too. What happens is that hot air dumps down that wall, and that is porch over there. Okay. Yep. And yeah, you're getting killed because you've got all these places that you're framed up,
Yeah.
and then that is.
And that's my kids' room here.
Yep.
You can see how thin the insulation is. I don't know if you see it from there, but if you get it a little higher, you'll see the insulation is so thin. The cellulose there.
Yep. Yeah, I see what you're talking about.
That's part of the reason I was like, hey man, I mean, this is doing straight forward.
Yeah, anytime you can see the tops of the rafters,
Right.
that's a problem. What you want to do when you're doing insulation like this is you want to frame up a walkway
Right.
so that you can take and be above the insulation, walk where you need to go, and then not, mess with the integrity of it at all.
Actually, when we made that.
All right, so it's the end of the day. Approximately, it's almost 6:30, and just getting done for the day. So this afternoon, I went out on an energy audit appointment. I've got some pictures and some different things from that. But basically, the issue was I just have really high electric bills gas bill, high electric bill, and in this area that it's $500 with just one system, and they don't really have any other. They got a dryer, washer, all the things that people have, but the water heater's gas, so it's not like they use a lot of electricity for heating water and things like that. And their gas bill's high. Now, one thing that we discovered on the gas bill, this is something to keep in mind, is that they're paying, when she analyzed, the homeowner analyzed the gas bill, she is paying $1.99 per therm of gas. So, and the company website that she's buying gas from clearly advertises that they'll have rates starting at 59 cents a therm, and that's how gas is priced, natural gas. This isn't propane, this is natural. So I advised her to shop that or see if she could get the company that she's with to lower the rate. I think what happened is they signed up on a promo a couple years ago, and then they raised the rate on them without them realizing it. So, went through, looked at their home. They've got some insulation issues. They've got attic ventilation issues. So, proposing some different things for them there to fix some of that. And I'm going to stay in touch with them and continue to work with them through that. Used my company cam account, not for the first time, but second or third time, really in depth today on that appointment, and I really like it so far because we can just take a bunch of pictures, tag them, saves them all to the job, it geotags the location, and we can share it as a report really easy. So I'm really excited to see everyone use that. So we're working on integrating that more into our company and seeing how it shapes up for us. So it was a great day. Still beautiful out. Time changed now. Sun's shining later in the day, so looking forward to spending some time at home this evening. See you guys tomorrow. All right, so it's Friday and it's 12:15. So we're here on site working on this project right here. We are just getting this copper refrigerant tubing installed. This is just real rough right now. We had gotten the drains ran. We had to drill a hole right up there at the top, and we got the copper tubing ran down. We're going to be pulling that concrete pad up right there and putting that pad right there down in place of it. However, we were going to be setting the condenser today, but up on site, this unit looks like it got dropped before it ever got put in the box. So we put it back on the truck. You can see it sitting right back there. It might be hard to see in a camera shot for sure, but it's definitely not right. It's kind of like, it's like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And it's got some damage right here. You can see it's damaged right there. That panel was popped out there. So these are some of the things we're dealing with ever since, seems like they're worse since COVID. Get damaged equipment on this job. We've gotten a damaged evaporator coil we had to swap out. We got a damaged furnace we had to swap out. And now we've got a damaged condenser outdoor unit we had to swap out. So it's been a little bit of a mess, but we're going to get through it. Not a big deal. Hey, we persevere no matter what, right? You can see on this home, right there is the furnace vent. That's where the actual exhaust will be coming out of the house. So we're going to go up in the attic now and have a look up there and see what all's going on up there. Right there. Now you don't have to junction them or couple them together at all, do you?
Maybe that one.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
I'll make it work.
Oh yeah. Very good. Can't see very good up in there. Here's the new vents that we added right here and there, and here's where we ran the duct across. I may have talked about this yesterday a little bit, but See a little better what we did right there. So he'll build a window seat or something across here for that at some point. And there's a vent way back over there. You can just barely see it right there. So yeah, project is coming together. Probably got another day or so here just getting gas connected, all your venting, all the line set, refrigeration stuff, drains, electrical, all that good stuff. So yep, looking good. All right, so it's Saturday, a little bit after 11:15, and I'm here just looking at a project. It's a project we've been working on, and I've got to set the thermostats for the flooring. It's a new construction project here, and I've got to set the thermostats for the flooring to be conditioned. So I'm doing that this morning, but while I'm here, I'm just looking at the actual installation. So we've got this is a package unit. This is an XL15C right here, package system, and this is the shroud cover that we built right here. Dustin did an excellent job on it right there, and we got blocks between here, so that the only thing we have to do yet on this is concrete these in so that there's no gaps and nothing can get up in there, but that will be all filled in there. Looks really nice. And we've got our drain ran out, of course, and all of our electrical right here. Dustin does an excellent job of routing all that nice and neat right there. So yeah, looks good. And we're going to go in here and look at these thermostats real quick. And this project here is kind of a unique project. Another air conditioning company had actually installed the system overhead, but the homeowner did not want it to be installed overhead. And so she ended up contracting us to do the installation instead of them. They actually had the system installed, and you can see right here, I had it installed already. You can see right here they got the vent covers in the ceiling, but there's no ducts up there at all. The actual vents come through the floor, like right there and right there. So we actually came in and we didn't rip anything out. The other company tore everything out, and we came in and put all the ductwork in underneath. These are the returns right here. One detail we did here was we made the base, the trim follow up around the return grills, because we had to cut them so close to the floor to stay underneath because I had to build a box in here for the return, and a cabinet's going to actually cover that, but so that we could be over that cabinet and make it all work out properly with the size of grill that we needed. Yeah, so all looks good. Walk over here to the other side of the house and have a look. Actually, it looks like the system's not even on right now. I'm not sure what's up with that. So yeah, we've got two returns right here that dump back to there. Same thing there. A return in the ceiling. We put returns in these rooms so that the rooms could for sure get a little bit of return back to them. So we put grills in the ceiling, and then we just put in jumper ducts, if that makes sense. So jumper ducts will allow you to get your air back to where you need it to go. And this right here doesn't have any door on it right here. So all the air will come out of those rooms through those jumper ducts and then into this space, which will then ultimately come through over here, right there. So anyways, I'm gonna get these thermostats set up and programmed. Okay, so this is the system running right now. I don't know. You probably can't hear it because of my mic, but if I hold my mic up to it, that's your fan noise. You can just barely hear the compressor, maybe. But I'm a little concerned. I don't know if it's a big issue at this point yet or not, but I'm just a little bit concerned that maybe that outdoor fan might be out of. Get this clip back on me. That outdoor fan might be a maybe right there. That outdoor fan might all of a sudden be out of balance just a little bit because it's just this back. It's seems like these panels are shaking a little bit. It's not excessive, but it is just enough that it just concerns me just a little bit. So I don't know. We'll see here. All right, so right now the system isn't running at maybe 100% airflow capacity, but you might be able to hear that a little bit. But you can see that, I mean, you definitely can feel air coming out of the vent, but it's not like just blowing hard. Now, over here, this is about what you'll hear. You can see the and this is what you get when you can hear the unit running outside this window right here. So you'll be able to hear it. Like in the middle of the night, you'll definitely hear that. But it won't be like noisy. And this is something that I brought to the homeowner's attention when we initially decided to place it on the back side of the house there. And they said, oh yeah, that's not a big deal for us. We're fine with that. But a lot of systems, if they're not designed properly, you'll have excessive air noise, and that comes from a what we call high static pressure. So trying to move a large volume of air through the duct, not a big enough duct. So if you're trying to move, just for example, let's say we're trying to move 1,000 CFM through a 12-inch duct. Well, that duct's probably going to run at somewhere around, I think it would be 0.1 static in order to do that. So that's a little higher than what you really want to be at. So when you're trying to move 1,000 CFM, you need to upgrade to like a 14-inch duct, and then you can move that air. Every time you increase in size, your static pressure drops a little bit. You're still moving the same volume of air, and it allows you to move the air more efficiently and not strain the system as much. So when we're designing a system, and this system was designed expressly for that, to be that way. So looks like we got a little issue right here. I'm just seeing that right now. Looks like that boot's pulling away from the joist. Looks like somebody stepped on it or something. So we're gonna have to fix that as well. I'm not sure what happened there. So anyways, but yep. So airflow is a big thing when you're installing an air conditioning system, and designing it is a big thing. So too many times people walk into a room and they say, oh, it just needs one vent, or it just needs two vents. And it's not that they're way off in that. It's just a matter of making sure you're getting the proper buckets of air into the room that you need. So it's important to start with a load analysis where you analyze, which way does the house sit? How much insulation's in the walls, the roof, the ceiling? What kind of windows and doors are you going to have? How is the home going to be used? Are you going to entertain with are you going to have moments where, like in a space like this, are you going to have 30, 40, 50 people in here all of a sudden? If that's not an issue, if that's not something you're going to be doing, not as big of an issue to make sure that it's got more air. But you may want to, you design for internal and external loads. And the internal loads are the way you use the home, how many guests you might have at a time, people living in the home, how you're going to be using the home. Are you going to have a pool in the backyard and have pool parties on 4th of July? All those things make a big difference, and those are questions that we always ask when we're doing an initial comfort consultation. And that helps us design for the worst case scenario, so that when you have that worst case scenario, you're not picking up the phone and saying, you guys cheated me on my system, I don't have enough air. And we say, well, you never told us you were going to do that. So we try to have those conversations early on so that we're designing properly for your home. So same square footage, two different people or two different homeowners can require completely different types of systems. It's just a matter of how you're going to be using your space. Same thing applies to businesses. A restaurant can require double the amount of air of an office building just because of the nature of the building, same square footage. It's just the way it works. And you have different things you use when you're designing for commercial spaces. Commercial spaces don't get as messed up as bad as what residential homes do, because commercial is more of a, there is more architectural, or excuse me, there's more mechanical engineering performed professionally on commercial buildings. But residential spaces, the architect draws the house and it's left up to the air conditioning contractor to design the system. So whenever you're choosing an air conditioning contractor, be sure that they are designing the system around your needs, not just for the square footage of your home. All right, well, that's all I got. The system's working great. I've got it set to, what I did in this particular case is we are dealing with some shoulder months here in Georgia. We're in a shoulder month where it will, like right now, it's predicted to get down to 39 degrees tonight. Monday night, it's supposed, this is Saturday, next week, Monday night, it's supposed to get down to 32. But what I have done is I've set this to auto on my thermostat. So if I click right there, I've got the auto feature enabled. So this will heat up to 70. And if the temperature rises and it gets warm out and the temperature rises to above 75, it will cool down to 75. So we got this 5-degree dead band, we call it. 70 heat, 75 cool. And that is going to keep this home comfortable and keep the humidity in check. So you can see we're at 62% humidity, and they're getting ready to lay all this flooring right here. So they want to make sure that the floors, the subfloor is conditioned and brought down to the humidity it needs to, as well as the actual flooring itself, because they're getting ready to lay it, I think, next Wednesday. So these are important things when you're, doing construction on a home, to make sure of that. Thanks for watching. That's it for this week's video. Thanks so much for watching. Click here to subscribe to our channel. Click here to watch last week's video.